as the second half and trade deadline approaches for the Philadelphia Phillies. They're going to have some decisions to make based on positions and spots of need on the team. But I did want to show some love in this video today to a few certain guys who have helped bring this offense back to life over the last, few weeks. Because even in a time where you're getting, not great production from guys like Max Kepler or maybe Johan Rojas or Bryson Stott right now, you're getting some good production from some certain guys. And a few of those certain guys I want to jump into today. The first guy, really quick, happy All-Star break. I hope everybody got to watch that end of that MLB All-Star game on Tuesday night. If you didn't, for some reason, go check it out. Kyle Schwarber was paired up for the swing off. He was one of the National League selections. The new rule in the All-Star game is if it ends in a tie, there's a swing off between 3 NL and 3 AL. And Kyle Schwarber was selected. 3 pitches, 3 home runs. Schwarber goes on to win All-Star Game MVP, and the National League wins the game. It was an awesome night. It was a really cool moment for Schwarber. And shout out to Schwarber and the Phillies bat boy for being out there down in Atlanta. And now, it's time to start the second half of the season. And 2 guys that have really been hot before the All-Star break I wanted to dive into today. The first one for me is JT Realmuto. And, we can look at the full season stats, right? 5 homers, 32 RBIs, a 324 on base percentage in 299 at-bats, 80 hits, 5 stolen bases, 77 strikeouts. He's slugging 381, 94 OPS plus, which is slightly under average, and he was caught stealing 2 bases, right? It's not the flashiest. I'll say that. It's not the JT he was back in 2021 or the JT that we campaigned the Phillies to re-sign for. But he's still one of the most durable and ready to go every single game guys in baseball. And that matters, especially behind the plate. JT Realmuto, last 7 games, nothing's really sticking out. But I do want to look really quick here. Last 30 games, 28 hits and 89 at-bats, 15 runs scored, 1 homer, 9 RBIs, 20 strikeouts, 6 walks, 3 stolen bases. He's hitting .315 with a .351 on base percentage, a .427 slugging percentage, which is good for around a 780, 785 OPS. JT Realmuto heading into this offseason is, when you think about it on paper, he's probably the Phillies' 3rd priority to re-sign. But, when you think about meaning to the team and, everything into account, I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's 3rd. Maybe he's 2nd. Kyle Schwarber is 1, right? No doubt in my mind. But JT Realmuto does a lot for this pitching staff. And, that's something that if you've never played baseball, you don't really understand how much the catcher can affect the pitchers. JT Realmuto does an unbelievable job with this pitching staff. And when we sit here every day and we find new stats about Zack Wheeler and his unbelievable Cy Young season that he's having right now, or Ranger Suarez and his ERA on the season being under 2.2 and throwing 10 quality starts in a row, or Christopher Sanchez having one of the best season he's ever had, and I think he's like 5th or 6th in Cy Young odds right now, everybody forgets that there's one common denominator there. And, Mick Abel coming up, and while the end wasn't as great as the beginning, Mick Abel coming up and having a catcher that trusts him, going up against Paul Skeens in his MLB debut. And, there's a common denominator there. And it's JT Realmuto. He's unbelievable behind the plate still. He's a brick wall. Yes, his body doesn't move as it used to behind the plate. Some balls he's not blocking as good, whatever. He's still got an absolute hose down to second base. And, this is a key player, and I know people are going to say he's the 3rd priority, right? And I get it. If the Phillies go into this offseason and they can upgrade this lineup to where they can afford JT Realmuto hitting 8th in your lineup, coming back on a cheaper deal if he wants to do that, and being your catcher hitting 8 on a cheaper contract because he knows the pitcher so well, I'm so in on that because I don't know if people understand truly how much he means to this team. So JT was my one guy that I wanted to get into. The other guy, I wanted to get into Brandon Marsh's stats a little bit today because Brandon Marsh started off 0 for 34, I think. I mean, you can see this right here. He was 0 for 20. He didn't have a hit in April. Not one hit. He had a 143 on base percentage. The only reason he had that was because of 5 walks. He had 11 strikeouts and 29 at-bats. It was going really, really, really bad. And then May happened. He hit 298 in May with an 823 OPS. 17 hits, 10 runs in 57 at-bats, 1 homer, 7 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. And then June happened. 22 hits and 68 at-bats, 10 runs scored, 5 doubles, 6 RBIs, 5 walks, 3 stolen bases. And now July's happening. You know, it's not as good as June and May, but he's hitting nearly 270. He has an OPS over 700. He's 8 for 30. He's hitting 268 over his last 30 days. Like, Brandon Marsh could have made this outfield be from meh to really, really bad. You know, I think we know the situation with Max Kepler at this point. I don't think it's getting to the end. I would still be shocked if they would DFA Max Kepler. But it's no surprise that the contract's been a fail. It's been an absolute fail. They swung and they missed. And, you know, I really wanted the signing to work, and it just didn't. Johan Rojas just, once again, hasn't panned out to what they need. Nick Castellanos, you know, he's Nick Castellanos. What do you excuse me. What can you say about Nick Castellanos at this point? All I ever have is he's Nick Castellanos. That's about it. But, you know, Brandon Marsh has been kind of a big player for this outfield this year. No, he doesn't play a great center field at all. But when he's out in left field, he plays a great left field. And I think if the goal is to get either Max Kepler to the bench or to DFA Kepler, and there's a center fielder they want. If they want to bring Crawford up, put him in center, move Marsh to left, right? If they want to go get a center fielder, get that center fielder, slide Marsh in left. Marsh is a good player. And he's really, really turned it around since the beginning of the year. Those are really the 2 guys I wanted to give a shout out to today. And really quick, I just wanted to bring this up really quick because there's a certain catcher out in LA that everybody rants and raves that the Phillies traded for. And I just want to give everybody a reminder that every time they see those home run notifications and think Logan O'Hoppe is just tearing it up and is miles and miles and miles and miles better than JT Realmuto. With 17 home runs this season, he has a 692 OPS. He has 17 homers this year with a 692 OPS. JT Realmuto has a higher OPS than him with 12 less home runs. So, you know, I'm not saying JT Realmuto is a better player. Whatever. Actually, maybe I am. But let's all stop with the Logan O'Hoppe thing. It's starting to get crazy. Please go look at his stats. Please watch him catch behind the plate. He's not like God's gift to this earth that we gave away. Sorry, I needed to get that out while we were on the JT Realmuto topic. This has been the newest episode of Phillies Digest. Really quick, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. Here on Phillies Digest, myself and Sean Bernard are putting out at least one video every single day. This has been the newest episode once again. My name is Luke Arcaini, and I will see you guys next time.